I told you not to come here. Emily's voice sliced through the laughter and music like a blade. The room fell into an eerie silence. Champagne glasses paused mid-air. Guests turned their heads in confusion. At the back of the grand wedding hall, a woman in a faded blue dress stood frozen, her eyes wide, her hands trembling as she held a small box wrapped in white paper. It was her mother, Linda. The mother who'd raised Emily alone, sacrificed everything she had, and now stood as an uninvited guest in her daughter's perfect, high society wedding. Emily's eyes were blazing. You promised me. You said you wouldn't come. Linda took a slow step forward, her voice soft. I know. I just wanted to see you. You look so beautiful. But Emily didn't hear the compliment. All she saw was the fear of exposure, the fear that her carefully crafted life was about to crack open in front of the groom's wealthy family, her friends, and the hundreds of guests who believed her story. The story where her parents had died in a car crash when she was 15. The story where she made it to success all on her own. No one in that hall knew Linda was real. That she worked double shift scrubbing toilets in budget motels so Emily could have school supplies. That she went without food so Emily could eat. That she sold her wedding ring to buy Emily a laptop for college. No one knew the truth because Emily never told them. She had buried her past so deep, she'd nearly forgotten what it sounded like when her mother whispered her name. Please, Emily said again, her voice quieter, trembling, you don't belong here. Daniel, the groom, looked over from the stage, confused. Who is she? Emily ignored him. She just stared at her mother, who was now visibly shaking, trying to hold back tears. Linda swallowed her pride. I'm sorry, she said. I won't stay. I brought you this. She held up the small box. It's not much. Just something old from when you were a baby. I thought maybe you'd like it. Emily didn't move. The tension in the room was unbearable. Daniel's mother leaned over to whisper something, her expression turning sour. The guests began to murmur. Linda gently placed the box on the gift table and turned away. As she walked slowly towards the door, she stumbled slightly, her old heels worn thin. No one helped her. No one stopped her. Not even Emily. The door opened. A rush of wind came in, and Linda disappeared into the cold evening. Emily stood there, still shaking, her chest tight, her stomach turning. Daniel came to her side. What's going on? Who was she? Emily couldn't answer. Her eyes drifted to the small box. Something inside her cracked. She walked over to it with trembling hands and opened it. Inside was an old silver locket, worn but polished carefully. Inside the locket was a tiny photo of baby Emily held in her mother's arms. On the other side, a folded piece of paper. Her mother's handwriting shaky but clear. No matter how far you go, I will always be behind you, praying for your happiness. Tears welled in her eyes. The room blurred. Her breath caught in her throat. In that moment, everything rushed back. Cold winter nights wrapped in one blanket, her mother skipping dinner just to feed her, Linda walking to work in the rain, smiling through pain, and never once asking for anything in return. Emily dropped to her knees. She didn't care who was watching anymore. She clutched the locket and ran out the grand hall, past the shocked guests, down the marble steps into the dark. Outside, Linda was slowly unlocking her old car, wiping tears from her face. Mom, Emily called out. Linda turned, startled. Emily ran into her arms, crying like a child. I'm so sorry. I was ashamed not of you of who I used to be, and I thought that if I left it all behind, I could finally be someone, but I forgot the one person who made me who I am. Linda held her tight, burying her face in her daughter's hair. You don't have to be ashamed of where you came from. That little girl who slept on the floor and studied under candlelight, the girl is the reason you're standing here today. Emily pulled back, wiping her tears. Come inside. Please. Sit in the front row. Walk with me down the aisle. I don't care what they say. You're my mother. Inside, the guests watched in stunned silence as Emily walked back in, her hand holding Linda's. No shame. No fear. She took the mic before the vows and said, "Before I begin this new life with my husband, I need to thank the woman who gave me my life. Not just by birth, but by every sacrifice. I lied. I said I had no family. But that's not true. I have a mother. And she is the strongest woman I've ever known." The room stood silent. Some guests wiped tears. Others lowered their heads in guilt. And in that moment, under the golden light of the chandeliers, the most powerful part of the wedding wasn't the vows, it was a daughter reclaiming the love she had once pushed away. Because no matter how far you go, or how high you rise, you can never outgrow the heart that raised you.